everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Celsie, aka Mother Vegan. Oh, it's snowing! Oh, I love the snow. Easily distracted. Anyway, today's video is all about the 6 things that I do that I wouldn't class as low waste, zero waste, eco-friendly, sustainable, but the things that I do. Now, if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you'll know that I go by the saying, one small change makes a massive difference. And that's true. I also say that I don't live the zero waste lifestyle. I don't believe that anyone can live the zero waste lifestyle in this day and age unless you're eating fresh fruit and veg from your garden and not buying food anywhere else. I personally don't think it's possible to be completely zero waste. The zero waste movement was actually made for corporations, not the individual, and yet it's been passed down as though we should be living the zero waste. And don't get me wrong, we should and we should strive towards that, but at this day and age it's not possible. So that's why I say I live a low waste lifestyle. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first one is food packaging, and this is the thing that I think people struggle with the most, is food packaging, because nearly all foods come in some kind of plastic. Even fruit and veg comes in plastic. If you're on a tight budget and you go to Aldi for your fruit and veg, they all come in plastic. It's impossible to shop without some kind of plastic. I do shop in the zero waste shop and I'll get like my lentils, some spices, some dried beans and that kind of stuff from there, but the majority of it comes from a supermarket and comes in plastic packaging. If you watch any of my recipe videos, you know that I use more frozen veg than fresh veg. I actually very rarely buy fresh veg. All frozen veg comes in plastic packaging, and that is because of my budget. Because I don't have a very big budget, frozen veg suits me best because it works out cheaper in the long run. We have less food waste. There's always veg in the house, so even if I'm really broke one week and I can't afford to go out and buy a whole load of veg, there's always stuff in the freezer to have, and that's one of the reasons I have it. So plastic packaging on food is sadly one of my biggest plastic consumptions, if not the biggest. The next one, I know there are ways around this, but all of my skincare products come in plastic bottles. I know that there are DIYs out there and one day I might get around to making them, but at the minute, since I've been on this journey, I've had a son and I've gone to uni and I'm just extremely busy. So that for me is on the bottom of my priority list. For me, I don't actually use that many products on my skin, so I don't go through the plastic bottles as quickly as a lot of other people do. And it actually has only been the last, I don't know, year or so that I've actually been using products on my skin because, well, basically, Hugh's giving me wrinkles and dry skin and grey hair and all that good stuff. So I've started to actually think about, ooh, maybe I should wear some foundation, cover up those wrinkles. My shampoo and conditioner and body wash and that kind of stuff, that actually all comes from the zero waste shop, so I do refill those, but at the minute there's no refillable options for like moisturizer or toner or eye serum or any of that stuff. So that is another thing that I do that's not zero waste. The next one, I don't see myself stopping in any way, and that is traveling. When we eventually can travel again, me and Adam love traveling. Our old job was actually in the travel industry. It's just something that we absolutely love doing. We love seeing all the different cultures and trying all the different foods, just seeing all these beautiful places, whether that's man-made in Prague or natural beauty in Iceland. We just love it and we won't stop doing it. I know there are a lot of CO2 emissions within the travel industry. I'm not blind to that, but the last time we actually went anywhere, I was pregnant with Hugh. We've not been able to go anywhere since. We had 4 holidays booked for 2020, all of which got cancelled. So we've not been anywhere since I was 32 weeks pregnant. We went to Tuscany with my family, and while I thought I was an eco warrior back then, I wasn't really. This is kind of a new journey that I've been on, and since coming onto this journey I've now offset my emissions I didn't do that when I previously travelled. I just didn't think about it. Now, when we do eventually travel again, I will be offsetting all of our emissions from the flights, from the travel, from everything like that. And the thing with living the low waste lifestyle is that you shouldn't take out anything that you enjoy, because as soon as you take anything out that you truly enjoy and you feel like you can't live without, you'll start to become depressed, you'll start to get miserable, you'll start to just not be happy. And we all need to try and live a low waste lifestyle. We also need to think of our physical and mental health as well. And for me, travel is the thing that I enjoy the most, and the thing that I will continue to do. We bought our car when we first found out that we were pregnant with Hugh. We bought it about 2 weeks after we found out I was pregnant with Hugh, because we both had tiny cars. Adam had an old Corsa and I had a little KA, and we both thought, we're having a baby, I'm pregnant, we should really get a car that's safer for myself while I'm pregnant and for when the baby comes. So we went to get a big, typical family style car, which sadly does run on diesel. If we were to go back in time, we probably wouldn't buy a diesel car. We probably would want to buy a hybrid or electric car. When our finance is up for this car, we will be looking to get an electric car, but right now we do drive a diesel, and because it's a contract, we can't actually get out of that just yet. We've got just under 2 years left of the finance, so that's when we'll be looking into a different car. We purely bought that one on the safety aspect of it, so we didn't think of anything else other than safety. I typically buy Hugh brand new clothes. I do try and get secondhand clothes. All the charity shops have been closed for God knows how long now, and Facebook Marketplace is a great place to look, but it's really difficult to get children's clothes in the right size, in my style, because I do have a style of clothes that I like to get Hugh. It's basically just t-shirts or jumpers, joggers or leggings, just because I feel like you can move around more in those and they're not restrictive in any way. I do try and get as much as I can secondhand, but it's not always possible. It's really difficult to get the right sizes for the right season, so I do end up going to my favourite place to shop for Hugh's clothes is Tesco's, and they do actually do a range with the WWF I always get confused between those two. They do actually do a range with them as well. So I'm sure as Hugh gets older, I will be able to buy more second-hand clothes, but because he grows out of the clothes so quickly because he's so small, it's difficult to do. But one day, I'll be able to buy them second-hand. And finally, this is very winter orientated. We have the heating on nearly all day, every day on a low temperature, simply because this house gets freezing. It's such an old house and it just gets very cold very easily. Even when the heating's on, it doesn't warm up that quickly. And while me and Adam can wear jumpers and snuggle on the couch with a blanket around us and wear slippers and just layer up, it's not so easy for Hugh to do that, especially because he can take off his clothes now. He can take off his jackets, he can take off his shoes and his socks and his trousers. So a lot of the time he does end up actually not fully dressed. So we do have the heating on a lot in this house, and our energy provider is not an eco-friendly energy provider. It was just the cheapest one in the area. Again, budget comes into play, as it does with most of our stuff in this house, because we are in a low budget. So yeah, the heating is on nearly all the time during the winter here. So they are my 6 things that I do that aren't really eco-friendly or low waste living or any of that stuff. I wanted to film this video to say, even though I promote an eco-friendly and sustainable lifestyle, nobody does it perfectly. I don't do it perfectly. There's not a single person out there that can do it perfectly, unless you live in the middle of a jungle and can live off the environment. It's near enough impossible to do that today. So I just want to let you know that it's okay if you don't do everything sustainably. You've got to try your best. We've all got to try our best, and the majority of us are trying our best. You shouldn't feel guilty if you do something that's not low waste. You should feel proud of yourself even thinking about the way you're living. That is a ginormous step, as even just thinking, oh wait, I'm doing this, is it sustainable, is it not? Even if you have to continue doing that and it's not sustainable, don't feel guilty about it. Carry on doing what you can do, and that's all that we can do. So I think I'm going to end the video there. Hopefully this isn't too much of a controversial video and it's not too much of a negative video. I do want to spin it into a positive video where we're all in this together, we're all doing what we can do, and none of us are doing it perfectly. And remember, one small change makes a massive difference. Bye guys!